Hello everyone, welcome to this week's patient update. We are extremely busy and have many patients that are currently in our clinic. With that in mind, we unfortunately won't be able to cover all of them in this week's update. So anyways, let's get started. Our first patient will be Great Horned Owl 821 from Victor, Idaho. This bird came in with soft tissue trauma on its feet and also on its wing. These wounds are pretty superficial and hopefully should be very treatable. And with that in mind, we will be able to get that bird back into the wild shortly here. Our next patient is American Kestrel 818 from Auburn, Wyoming. This bird came in with some abnormal behavior, which led us to believe that it had some sort of disease or parasitic infection. And upon further examination, we found that this individual had an infection of Hemoproteus, which is a blood parasite that is related to avian malaria. Due to this infection, we are now having this individual on a few antiparasitics that will help treat for that, and we will reevaluate them within the next upcoming weeks to see if that infection resolves. Then we have Swain Hawk 812B from Ammon, Idaho. This bird came in with a fracture in its ulna and metacarpus, along with some soft tissue trauma on that left wing as well. And this was actually all caused by a BB that this bird was unfortunately shot with. So it's where that BB was luckily removed pretty easily since it wasn't too deep into the wing. And now that individual is in a wing wrap along with a splint to keep that site stable, along with some antibiotics that will keep that wound from getting infected. And lastly, just a reminder, it is not legal to shoot raptors. They are a federally protected group of birds, and it's where it actually is a federal offense to shoot them. So with that in mind, it's where this will actually be a criminal case that we will be looking into. Then we have Longear Owl 810 from Fairview, Wyoming. This bird, unfortunately, probably got hit by a car, and it left this individual with a broken humerus, and its wing was actually wrapped almost 180 degrees around itself. So it had to be moved back into the correct position, and a pin was put through its humerus to keep that bone in the correct position for the next few weeks so it could heal properly. And they also had a very large wound on their wing that had to be sutured shut. This bird is currently recovering from the surgery where we put in that pin, and also is on a few antibiotics and pain meds to manage for any infections or any pain that might be related to that injury. The last patient that we will be going over is Great Horned Owl 629B from Fort Washakie, Wyoming, which is over near Riverton. And this individual came in because they were ensnared in barbed wire, which left a pretty large laceration on their wing. We were able to clean this wound out and suture it shut and monitor it over the last several weeks. And luckily, it is fully healed, and you can see that that bird is now flying beautifully. We will plan to live prey test this bird, where we give it a live mouse that will hunt, and if it does pass that test, we will work on transporting this bird back to where it came from and releasing it back into the wild. And that's this week's patient update. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have a bird that was not covered in this update, please feel free to either give us a call or a text at our hotline, and we will let you know what's going on with that patient. Also, if you want to keep wild birds wild, please feel free to click the link below and donate. Thank you so much, and we will see you next week.